everyone, welcome to my channel, Tessacola Art. If you've been with me for a while, welcome back. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you guys how to draw freckled skin. Now it may seem like an intimidating and tedious process, but actually it's a lot of fun if you love to draw. I think you will enjoy all of the techniques and skills and secrets I'll be dishing in this two-part video tutorial. So let's dive in. When drawing the freckles around the eyes, start with very light pressure. Use your pencil first and the combination of your blending stump and your pencil again with slightly harder pressure. Your charcoal pencil is going to be, that's going to make the most dense pressure. Your tissue and blending stump will help you build these freckles up in layers. You'll notice that the more you draw freckled skin and features like the nose, the freckles actually aid in giving your drawing more dimension and more structure because of how the freckles lie on the skin. When drawing freckles, you want to focus on building multiple layers with your pencil and your charcoal pencil. You want to use your blending stump and your tissue to lift that charcoal pencil and pencil so that the marks aren't so dense and bold. You don't want the marks to be too obvious. You want them to look blended into the skin. You can also use your blending stump and you can draw the freckles in with it if you don't want to use too much pressure or the pressure of a pencil and a charcoal pencil. Doing this method really added nice realism to the portrait. I use my charcoal pencil more than my regular pencils because it makes the dark areas very dark and the light areas very light. But the combination of the charcoal pencil and the blending stump creates smooth transitions between the light and dark areas. That's what you want to do in a drawing. You don't want any harsh lines or edges. They should all be very smooth and soft and subtle. With the blending stump, I very gradually added those highlights, the highlight around the mouth, very subtle in my application. And with the crevices and the freckles and details in the lips, you want to also be very subtle, not too dramatic. It's all about smooth and easy transitions. You want the freckles to be a little darker in some areas where there are shadows, like on the inside of the upper lip here, and also the inside of the lower lip. And as you work your way to the top part of the lip, you want to lighten and soften your marks. But you can see how the freckles on the mouth, or the lips rather, and how I use this eraser stick, how it's making this form jump out at you. It's really adding depth and dimension and an extra flair of realism. One thing I want to make note of, or that I want you to make note of while you're drawing, you can start by adding the values to the skin first and then go in and add the freckles. That will give you an idea of how dark or light you should make the freckles. Let the freckles act as a guide for creating structure and form, and apply heavy pressure on your tissue to really blend it and get a nice skin texture that way. And layer with your pencil first and then your charcoal pencil. And you can actually put your blending stump in your tissue, which I will do later on in this video, and that will create really nice and smooth blending. You'll start to see how many layers I built up with these freckles to get that realism and to keep the values in check. And I was very conscious to always be blending and smoothing out my marks so no mark stood out more than the other. The blending stump was a very useful tool for this freckle drawing process. I actually drew with the blending stump quite a bit and the eraser stick. It just gave me the chance to make a broad value scale or value range. The tissue is great for producing photorealistic portraits because it just blends all of the layers of graphite and charcoal and from the eraser stick and the blending stump. I mean, look at how that texture, it just looks like photographed skin, and that's what I'm really going for, hyper realism. You'll find it helpful to draw the freckles in sections of the face, like around the eyes, the nose, the cheekbones, the jaw, around the mouth, the chin. You'll find yourself so immersed in the process, you'll really end up probably adding more freckles than are actually there. You'll find this process to be very fun. The one thing I want to make sure to mention is I see a lot of artists getting really bogged down trying to get everything perfect. Freckles, moles, or whatever is on the face, they try to get it in the exact same spot that it is according to the reference photo. And you can do that, you can try to do that, but it'll just make the process more frustrating and less fun. At this stage, I pretty much put the reference photo away and I just try to achieve the textures. I try to get the textures down and just make it look photorealistic, but not trying to copy the image exactly. I'm trying to make a piece of art, an art piece. I'm not trying to recreate what's already there, the photograph. The light source is beginning to emerge too. On the left side of the face here, as you can see, I'm not going too dark with my marks for the freckles. I'm just being a little bit more suggestive, and that's the approach that you want to take. With the charcoal pencil, as you can see, I'm being very specific in where and how I apply it. the shadowed areas or areas that are darker on the face, I am applying a little bit more pressure with the charcoal pencil. And in the lighter areas, I'm mostly using my blending stump or using the blending stump on the charcoal marks to smooth them out or lighten them up. If you want to lighten an area up, use your kneaded eraser and just dab it in the area that you want to lighten and use a light pencil. I use the Faber-Castell set, the H pencil, and I just lightly draw over the highlight, and then I use my blending stump to smooth it out so the transitions are smooth. On the forehead, you want to follow the same system that you used for the rest of the face. I ended up using my charcoal pencil and a darker pencil more because there were darker shadows around the forehead where I had to emphasize bone structure. Here I'm adding even more layers on top of the layers I created with these freckles, but look at how that is really looking like skin, freckled skin. Thank you for watching. If you want to follow along and do this drawing as well, I got this photo on Unsplash, which is an uncopyrighted image, and I've got linked in the description box below so you can use it if you'd like to practice the techniques that I showed you in this video. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, like it and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a tutorial.